Hello, everyone. good evening, and happy Wednesday night to all of you, or whatever day you happen to be finding this live. I am Christina Garrett. Tonight, we're going to talk about goal reaching and being authentic to yourself while you build. And then on top of that, we're going to talk about how to stay more consistent, even when it feels challenging or it feels daunting or you feel the urge to give up too soon. Okay. If you are new here, this is the corner of the internet that reminds you that you are made and created for amazing things. And it is to make sure that you consistently know and feel internally that every goal that you set is possible. I choose to believe that God puts these ideas, these passions, these gifts, these perspectives in you for a reason. And many times we might end up laying aside some of that. We might end up feeling like it's bigger than we are. But this is the little corner of the internet that reminds you that what you're thinking of and considering and praying on is possible. Now, I have not been live the last couple of days, mostly because I have been moving, running back and forth to church. Like we have vacation Bible school this week, and I'm on turbo with the kids because my husband is traveling. And so, on top of that and work related things, I've been very excited about what God is doing. I feel very grateful for what He's doing. And I am walking forward. And tonight, I want to encourage all of you guys to come with me. Okay. I'm going to go live on Instagram too because we love time management and we like to do all the things at one time. There we go. So, hey, everybody, good evening. I am excited to talk about goal reaching tonight. You all know that this is always the wheelhouse. I'm always talking about the same thing, sometimes to the point where you're like, Christina, I already know she's going to pop on live and she's going to tell me how to organize my life so that I can get more done and become the person that I know I'm able to develop into. Christina, I know she's going to tell me that I don't have to be burned out. Hey, everybody. Christina's going to tell me how to organize my life so that my family is thriving. Christina's going to tell me how to stop being overwhelmed and opt out of doing all the things and delegate more. Yes, I'm going to tell you all of that. Hey, everyone. Good evening. I'm going to tell you all of that and so much more on a consistent basis. And here is why. The reason why is because on the other side of managing your mind, on the other side of you pulling it together, on the other side of you learning to invest in yourself, on the other side of you learning to delegate, on the other side, there is something that is so amazing and so remarkable and so exciting that you're like, oh my goodness, is all of this really happening in my life all at the same time? Are all of these things really coming up, right? Like the harvest, the fruit of it is coming up. Sometimes it comes up sparingly, but then there are other times where you look out and you see a field full of the harvest that you put so much work and so much effort into. You look out and you see all of it coming together at one time. So the internet went abuzz. I'm excited to be partnering with one of our Momathon conference sponsors this year, Ed Choice, which is a foundation dedicated to making sure that children learn with dignity, no matter where they go to school, no matter what county they're in or district they're in, they all deserve to learn with dignity. Okay, so we get to partner with them at this year's Essence Festival in New Orleans to talk mompreneurship and a whole bunch of other amazing things this year. But this was just one aspect of many things that are coming to a fruit that's developing. Okay, fruit that's developing. So what ends up happening is this. Okay? You will begin to work on a project. You will begin to put your effort and your focus into a new dream, a new goal, a new idea. And what will happen is with every single human being, this is not a you thing, this is every person watching, including myself, okay? Every single one of us, as we begin to walk towards the goal, walk towards the dream or whatever this exciting, amazing thing is that's coming to you. As you move towards it, you are going to inevitably feel the desire, the dream, the inkling to pivot and change directions. It's human nature. It's human nature. I've been chatting with and fussing with clients all week long. This week, last week, I said that all my clients trying to change something, do something different, right? But then a lot of them also come and say, Christina, how did you pull that off? Christina, how did you create that relationship? Christina, how did you pitch for that opportunity? Christina, how did this happen? And I tell them it's because when everyone else had the urge to pivot, I didn't. When everybody else had the urge to go a different direction, I chose not to do that. I decided that the idea, the notion, the inkling of what Mamathon could become, I wasn't going to break up with that possibility. I wasn't going to break up with that possibility. I made the choice. I made the decision to stay in the lane. I chose to trust God, right? I chose to sit in this amazing opportunity, this amazing path to continue moving forward no matter what. Here's what happens for a lot of us. For a lot of us, we change directions too soon. We change directions too soon. You work on the idea, you gather your thoughts, you begin to work towards it, and inevitably every single time, human nature says this might be taking too long. Human nature says this should be happening faster. Why isn't it happening faster? Human nature says the offer that I have, the price is too high, or this is the problem, or that's the problem. We have all of these reasons why the thing isn't working. And very often we never bring to the occasion the reason why it's not working is because the last time it got hard, I changed directions. We didn't bring into consideration that the last time it got hard, I stopped for 3 to 6 months. We didn't consider that very often, whenever it feels like it's more challenging or more stressful or it's taking more out of me, I'm going to take a rest break. I'm going to, and the rest break turns into 6 months to a year of you not working on that project anymore. How do you grow and become the person that you're supposed to become if we stop too soon? So tonight's live is a little bit of me poking the bear. Okay. Tonight's live is a little bit of me asking you to stretch your thoughts. Okay. And we're going to go through 3 reasons. I repeat, 3 reasons tonight why we often stop too soon. Why do we quit too soon? Okay. So the first reason that we often stop too soon is because we have the emotional cycle of change fighting us. Okay. We have the emotional cycle of change fighting us. I have talked about this consistently over the course of time. This idea of the roller coaster ride of emotions that we all go through whenever we decide to edit a behavior or create something new or become a new type of person. You want to have a stronger marriage? You're going to go on a roller coaster ride of change. You want to be a more present parent? You're going to go on an emotional roller coaster. You want to grow your business or start a new career or make a change, go back to school? It's going to take you on the emotional cycle of change every single time. And as a wife, as a mom, as a pastor's wife, as a business owner, as a homeschooling parent, all of these things, I now know more than ever that the more goals you have, the more emotional roller coaster rides you are going to inevitably experience every single time, every single day. It happens without fail. You decide you want to lose 20 pounds, you're going to feel those emotions. You decided that you're going to start a new career, you're going to feel those emotions. All of these are ways that we skip over. Okay. We skip over the necessities. We skip over the necessities and we decide that we're going to switch directions too soon. We haven't really given it a firm chance to work. Okay. So, what does this look like? Hey, everybody, as we build, as we strengthen ourselves, you're going to have a ton of divine downloads, things that God gives to you that are specifically for you that you're supposed to grab onto and bring to life. Sometimes some of these goals, we say God gave them to us, and then later we feel like maybe God spoke it incorrectly. Maybe he gave you the final destination, but the how is cloudy. We have all of these different thoughts. Okay. So, in the process of working through all of these kinks, you get to decide. You get to decide, okay? How am I going to make this happen for me, with me, in the vision that I see coming to life? Okay. In the vision I see coming to life. It can be so challenging over and over and over again when you say to yourself, self, I'm going to become this person, and then something pops up to get in the way. Something pops up to get in the way. What happened? And did you stop too soon? Did you stop too soon? Did you take your foot off the gas and slow down the effort? Hey, everybody, slow down the work, slow down the progress. You stop too soon. So now in this current season, you guys are seeing a lot of wins coming through the Mamathon movement, right? You guys are saying Essence Festival opportunities coming through. You all are seeing the conference being planned October 25th through the 27th in Atlanta. If you want to come, DM me. So we have the conference information coming through. We have I'm flying to Chicago next week to present for Hyatt, like an all-day seminar for the emerging leaders at Hyatt. Like, you guys are going to be seeing a lot. There's a whole lot more stuff that's trickling down now through the pipeline that you guys are invited to or can participate in. But you guys are seeing the fruits of not giving up too soon. Y'all are seeing the fruit from it. For a ton of us, we sit with these ideas, we sit with these goals, we sit with, I want to become this person. And then when it starts to get challenging, when we begin to feel like it's too much, that's when we begin to take our foot off the gas. Okay. So, number one, whenever you have a goal, whenever you have something that you're working towards, hey, whenever you have something that you're working towards, you're going to go on the emotional cycle of change. Okay. I've taught this before. I'm going to breeze over it quickly so that you guys, those who haven't seen it in the past, understand. I have a pen by my desk. I don't. So the emotional cycle of change looks like a roller coaster, literally, where you start up at the top and then you kind of come down just like this. And then finally you finish with meeting your goal at the end. So you start up out here, you go down, just like a roller coaster, and then you come up on the other side. That's the cycle. Okay. Every single one of us, when we have a goal, we start up. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to make it happen. I'm about to make it rain. My business is about to shut the world down, and I'm going to become a superhero. We all start up here with uninformed optimism. We all start up here thinking that the second we release it, the second we mention it on the internet, the second that something happens, we're instantly going to take off. Of course, it's going to happen. Okay. But after you jump, after you launch, after you leap, after you tell the world all about it, you're going to slip into phase 2, which is informed pessimism. You're going to hit a point in your life where you say, man, I did not realize that it was going to be this challenging to do. Okay, I didn't realize. How did I miss it? I didn't know that this was going to be this hard. And when we feel the stretch, when we feel the challenge, When we feel like, how in the world am I going to make this happen? We start to maybe lose our confidence. We start to lose our confidence and we slip down into the valley of despair. Okay, so you start out excited, you realize it's harder than it has to be. You slip down into feeling like, I don't even know if this is ever going to happen. This valley of despair of sorts. And so in the book, The 12-Week Year, he shares that most people quit at this point. When they launch out into the world and they come down and they're in the valley of despair, when they realize it's challenging, when they're feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, this isn't working, this is usually where the pivot happens. This is usually where you say, you know what? This is too hard. Maybe this is for a different season of my life. I need to put this up on the shelf for a while until things feel more manageable. I cannot tell you how many clients, how many women on discovery calls, how many women in my community, they come to talk about their goals and then they decide later that this is just not possible for me right now. Or they go and they talk to their husbands and it's hard for them to explain to their husband why they're feeling like their feet are stuck in the mud. I don't know how to tell him that. I don't know how to tell him I feel lonely and I feel like nobody understands what I'm going through. So I want to work with a coach. And then he's of course going to say, but you have me. I'm your person. Shouldn't you be able to talk to me about anything? So we have these moments where usually in the valley of despair, it's hard for us to depict to others where we are. It's hard to tell other people, this is why I feel stuck right now. And yes, it can even be challenging to see what's on the other side of this stuck moment. But I want to challenge you today that on the other side of the valley of despair, on the other side of this challenging moment of learning how to stick to it, is phase 4 and phase 5, which is finally learning what it takes, coming up out of the valley of despair and going towards success and fulfillment, where you actually know what it requires to pull the goal off, where you actually go and do what you said you were going to do. You become that person. So I want us to embrace that for every single goal that we have, there is this very interesting cycle that you're going to go on as you do this. It's normal. It happens to the best of us. But I want us to see, and I've been telling my clients all week, I'm like, pay attention to your cycles. Pay attention to your cycles. The moments in time when you give up because it feels hard, or you want to do less, or I'm afraid of being overwhelmed again. What will happen if I become overwhelmed again? What will happen if I get burned out again? Because I have a lot of anxiety about that, I don't want to go back to being that person again. I'm going to take my foot off the gas. Because I have a fear or anxiety about being burned out to the point where I was the last time, I'm going to take my foot off the gas. Hey, everybody, I'm going to take my foot off the gas. I'm going to not try as hard because I don't want to go there. Maybe I've had my priorities out of alignment in the past. I was too hustle ready and I was too, doing too many things. And I forgot about who and what was most important. My family wasn't a priority in that season. I don't want to go back there again. Because I don't want to go back there again, I got to take my foot off the gas a little bit. But on the other side of figuring it out, on the other side of cracking the code, on the other side of you organizing your schedule and managing your mind well and deciding to do more of what fuels you and helps you be rested and all of these things. On the other side of becoming that person is this scenery that is so remarkably beautiful, where everyone in your home's needs are met and yours. And you get to have activities that fuel you, and you get to do work that you love with people that you love, and so much abundance on the other side. But it can be really challenging. Hey, sis. It can be really challenging for us in this current place where we're trying to see what's on the other side. It's on the other side. So, number one, with every single goal that you have, you're going to go on the emotional cycle of change. You're going to start up high. You're going to be excited. You're going to come down and say, this is harder than I thought. You're going to hit the point where you say, I am now in the valley of despair. I want to throw the whole dream away and change directions. But if you stick it out, if you trust your ideas, if you believe that the God who gave you the idea, right, who gave you the dream, who gave you the vision, he did not change the vision. He didn't change it. If you're like, I fasted and prayed and the Lord gave me this idea and I just believe that I know it was from God and he's showing me what I'm going to be doing next and all of this stuff. Did God change his mind? Did God change his mind? If this is what he showed you, did he change his mind or did you stop too soon? Which one is it? Which one was it? Okay. So number one, we might not have been prepared for the emotional cycle of change. We might not have been ready to go on the roller coaster ride and deal with all the things that come with it. That's number one, when we quit too soon. Okay. Number two is kind of churchy, but it's like, I didn't know it was going to take all that. That's number two. Like, I didn't really know. One of my clients, Jennifer, she said, nope, he did not change his mind. God did not change his mind. But number two, we didn't know that it was going to take all of that. Okay. So here's what I'm going to let you guys in on, a very interesting notion or conversation. This idea is that a lot of us are not talking about how important it is to bring our loved ones into these conversations. My husband taught our mastermind class the other night, and he was sharing about how nobody wants to be a part of a vision that they don't feel included in. I did not realize I was going to have this level of conversation. I didn't realize I was going to have to adjust my schedule or my desires or my focus for this time. I didn't realize that I was going to have to change all of this when I started. Shouldn't my husband just understand? Shouldn't my kids just get it? Shouldn't everybody want to jump on board and help out and all this? Shouldn't it just happen? Shouldn't it just flow? But let's illuminate on the idea that when you first started out, you may not have been this person. You may not have been dabbling in entrepreneurship. You may not have been switching your career. You may not have been a stay-at-home homeschooling mom with a side hustle then. You might not have been that person then. So now, as this new version of you is arising, this version of you with a stronger opinion and more knowledge and more resilience and more passion and vision and focus, now that you're back to being this person, baby, you're going to have to step up the kind of conversations that you're having with the people that you love. You're going to have to be able to vocalize, I'm exhausted today. You're going to need to be able to say, this is how I need support, not just I need help. This is how I need help. Can you support me in this way specifically? Not waiting on anybody to have a psychic thoughts. Not waiting on anybody to just come up with some things that are going to be working. No, I am willing to be the person that has more challenging, more riveting conversations with the people I love. Okay? So, number one, we didn't prepare for the emotional cycle of change. The roller coaster ride that I went on whenever it comes time to start something new, change a behavior, do something amazing. I didn't realize. Number two, I didn't realize I was going to need to have some different kinds of conversations. I thought when I pivoted or when I switched that my family was just going to catch up. No, ma'am. No, man, that's not how it works. You have to bring them along for the ride. I have a picture, one of my pictures my photographer took of me walking across the street. I might share it tomorrow. Walking across the street, and I have my hand reaching back. I don't know how she got that shot, but in a way, it's like, hey, sis, hey, friend, hey, mama, I'm going here. I want you to come with me. We're going to have to do the same thing for the people we love. For our team members, for those who support us in our journey, you're going to have to do the same thing. You're going to have to go and grab their hand and bring them with you to where you're going. You're going to have to teach them and show them your limitations right now and show them where your capacity is and be able to say, this is how I need help and support. And many of us did not prepare for this season. We're not prepared for this season. We didn't prepare to have to say that, to have to be humble enough to say, this is where I'm feeling a restriction right now. We didn't prepare. So we walk into, I want to have a multi-six-figure business. I have all these goals. I want to go and travel all over the world and be this person. I want to do this. I want to do all these amazing ideas. It's okay to have those, to want those things for yourself. But baby, make sure you can communicate to the people you love that this is how you're changing. Make sure you can communicate to your people both the good that's going to come with your expansion and the not so good that's going to come with your expansion. So this year, my husband and I are doing a lot more separate travel, right? He's coming back from the National Baptist Convention. I'm traveling to Chicago next week to speak for Hyatt. We got the conference in October. I'm heading to another homeschoolers conference early October. Essence Festival. We have a lot of different things that are pulling us in different directions this year. Not different directions, but have a lot more moving pieces. Okay. We are intentionally having more conversations to say, this is where I am. Where are you right now? How do we need to make this work together? How do we need to make it work together? And a lot of times we skip over that part. We skip over the conversation. We feel like sometimes we shouldn't even have to have it. Who told you that? Who said that? Who said that you got to skip over telling the people that you are in covenant relationship with? What? You're in covenant relationship with them. And you want to skip over including them within a vision that you claim is for them. Right? So number one, we didn't prepare for the emotional cycle of change. That's why we give up too soon. I didn't pay attention to the cycle, the place I am in the cycle. I didn't realize, I'm just starting out in this vision. Oh, this is going to be so incredible. Oh, I'm so ready for the next level. Are we? Are we inconsistent on this current level? And now you want to jump ahead to the next one? I had to tell a client that the other day. I was like, no, you don't get to go and opt in for bigger and you're not faithful in the few things. You don't get to skip over. We got to fill in the gaps. Otherwise, you're going to get to the next level and not be ready. Okay, so number one, we got to prepare for the emotional cycle of change. Number two, you didn't realize you were going to have these conversations. You didn't realize it. But now you might need to slow down and take a step back and tell your people, hey, I love you. This is what I need from you right now. This is what I'm willing to give up. This is how I'm willing to compromise to make sure the main thing stays the main thing. These are all elements that are so vital and so important that we cannot skip over. Okay? And then number 3, the reason many of us give up too soon is because we get glittery object syndrome. We get glittery object syndrome. Many of us give up on our goals too soon because we get glittery object syndrome. This is the equivalent to grass being greener on the other side, where we look over and we see someone else working on something. They're starting a new portion of their business. They're hyped up on 7 streams of income, all of these different things that causes us to deviate from the plan that we have set aside. Causes us to deviate from what's right for us in this current season. What is God telling you to do right now? What is he opening up in your mind right now? How is God giving you divine downloads right now? What is your assignment for today? Don't get the glittery object syndrome and begin looking over so-and-so's writing that book. So-and-so put out a journal. So-and-so is doing all these digital products. So-and-so is doing, so-and-so starting a plant store. So-and-so is doing all these things. Somebody's always doing something. You will have to slow down and say, God, this is what I believe is for this season in my life. And I'm not going to bounce all over the place just because somebody else said this is how God is moving. I'm on somebody's email list. I love them as a person. I just stay on the email list just to be on the email list. But every week is a different offer. Every single week. It's something, buy something different. And that's fine because that works for her business model. Christina, like consistency. So I'm not going to jump on this other train just because somebody told me I should do it. I'm not going to change my trajectory just because somebody else said it's a good idea. I'm not going to start to add in all these moving elements to Mamathon or to the Mastermind program or to my coaching framework or any of these places unless I believe God is leading me to do it. And some of us, we see somebody else doing something. It looks really good. It seems like, oh, this is a line. This is who I want to be. It feels easier. Some of us pivot just because it feels easier to do. Not because God said it, not because it was a divine download, not because of any of these other reasons. I saw it looks good. It looks like it's going to be easier than what I'm currently doing. Let me pivot. Let me change directions. Let me go a different way. Okay. Therefore, we often end up giving up too soon on our goal, on the dream, because we kept switching places. I'll put on a post earlier. I was like, God is getting ready to open the door for you. But then because you're inconsistent or you switch again, or you pivot again, or you just moving around, now the angel's got to go look for a window to open so he can bless you. Just jumping everywhere. Glittery object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome. Oh, look, this over here is a good idea. This over there is a great idea. What about over here? What would happen if you just settled yourself? Settled yourself and said, okay, God, for this season of my life right now, this is what you're asking of me. This is what you're requiring of me. This is where you're leading me. And I'm okay with that. Okay? So, to wrap up for tonight, I got some lay downage to do. Number one, we often get wrapped up in the not realizing we're experiencing glittery object syndrome, shiny object syndrome. We kind of jump around from idea to idea, or way to achieve a goal to a different way, to a different way. We move around too much. Some of us have not expected to have such challenging conversations with our people about what's working, what's not working, how you need to be more consistent in their lives. You did not prepare them. You weren't even prepared. You weren't prepared for how things were going to change when you actually achieve the goal. I didn't even realize it was coming. I didn't know I was going to become this person. Because I didn't realize, how was I going to prepare? So now you need to slow down and say, when this happens, this is going to be the result. This is going to be what our time looks like. This is what my schedule is going to be. If I get this new job, if I get this position or this opportunity, this is what's going to happen on the other side of that. Are you willing to prepare your people for that conversation? And then last but not least, pay attention to your cycles. Pay attention to your cycles. The emotional cycle of change simply tells us that for every goal you have, you're going to go on a roller coaster ride as you move to achieve it. As you move towards editing your behavior or redefining your goals and your definition of success, I want you to know that you're in here and in here are going to go on a roller coaster ride for every single goal that you have. And some of us, when we hit the hard time, the challenging moment, that's when we decide, oh, I need to pivot. Not because God said so all the time, but because I feel like what's this other way is going to be easier. We do it because we feel this other way is going to be easier. So I want to challenge us tonight not to give up too soon. Don't give up on your goal. Don't give up on your trajectory. Don't give up on what God dropped into your heart to accomplish. I choose to believe that for every single one of you, it's already right there in front of you. And you got to become the person that can have it. You got to become the person that can handle the next thing, the next level. God is still purging some things out of me. He's still purging some things out of me. He's working on your girl. There are areas in my life where I say, okay, God, I see you working on me. Help me, Holy Spirit, to become the woman that can handle the next thing. And as I become that person, as you become that woman, we feel ingrained in ourselves that I can't give up too soon. I know God told me this. I know I can stick to it. I know this is for me. I choose to believe in abundance. I choose to believe I have a green light coming. I choose to believe that email is on the way. I choose to believe they're going to accept my pitch. I choose to believe my proposal is going to be funded. I choose to believe that my yes is on the way. But if you give up too soon, if you pivot and change directions, you can't get the yes that you've been looking for. So let's soak it in and let's stay there. Let's ground ourselves in belief in what God said and what you see about yourself. Okay? All right, everybody, that is it for tonight. As always, thank you guys for joining me. It's good to see some of you. As always, I want to open the door to allow for us to connect and to hear more about your audacious and remarkable goals. I've been telling newer clients all week, I don't believe that anybody finds their way here who is not a ridiculously big deal. The goals you have, the dreams, all of this passion that's stored up inside of you, like God has such a big plan for us. If we can just get out of our own way, if we could do the work that's necessary in here and in here to organize our thoughts and to get our schedule together and to honor our family needs and to take back control of our hours, if I can become that person who applies herself consistently, if I become the person that stops quitting too soon because my emotions get in the way, if I can become that person who believes she can build anything, then I know for a fact that it's for me. The next thing is for me. And so this invitation is open to you. If you're like, you know what, Christina, I know I have work to do and I don't want to do the work by myself. I don't want to take the fishing rod and throw it out and hope that I'm catching something. I don't want to walk through, and then as I'm starting to experience the friction in my family, which is going to happen, the friction in my family as I expand, as I grow, as I choose more for myself, as I become that person, I would love to have a sounding board, right? Support through coaching, strategic planning, accountability, helping you find the right resources, and keeping you true to you, helping you to evaluate and keep close what's most important to you, your family, your relationship with God, seeing these brand new doors opening up. Oh my goodness. Like things are happening now, and mama thought I couldn't even fathom. God has answered my prayer above and beyond. Above and beyond. But I listen to that inkling. I listen to what I'm sharing with you guys tonight. Don't give up too soon. Don't take your foot off the gas. Don't say, you know what, maybe next year. What if it's for this year? It's for now. And what happens very often is we begin to slide our foot off the gas too early. And we're not paying attention to our cycles. We're not looking at our own personal self-awareness. We're not looking at this is the plan of action that I'm implementing right now, and it's not working for me and for my family. We're not doing that part. Okay. So I want to invite you to a discovery call to talk with me about coaching. All right. My clients are shining stars. They are serious superheroes. They are authors and lawyers, doctors, professors and educators, micro school owners. They are healthcare professionals and therapists, politicians in there, like so many remarkable women. And none of them find me for no reason. I believe in every single one of their goals. I believe in your goals. And so, if you know that you want to work through your journey, you want to redefine what the rest of the year looks like for you. You're like, Christina, I made it to June. I did it solo. I want to have this sounding board. I want to be able to work through the plan with someone. Okay. I don't want to do this by myself. One thing about DIYers, one thing about really resourceful people, we will continue to do things on our own to a fault. To a fault. We will YouTube it. We'll YouTube it. We'll Google it. We'll be in there trying to build one of those, like, texture panel walls, that the architect really should come and build, but you feel like, oh, yes, I can do it. Like a lot of us become that person because we're a DIYer. We're super resourceful. So we often take the scenic route, the longer route to get to any goal or any destination. I choose to believe, though, that really being resourceful means knowing yourself and saying, you know what, I really don't want to have a repeat of what I had the last time. I want to be able to lean in and pay attention to my own needs. I want somebody else to give me the eagle eye view. And I want to get to the goal in half the time. I don't want to take the scenic route. I don't want to go the long way. I don't want to try to force myself to make myself be accountable and make myself pay attention and have to examine my own emotional cycle of change and all of this. Like, I know the added support will make all of the difference. And let's be honest, we love our best friends, but they're there. You guys are there for each other. And often they're there to support you and in a way to agree, right, with where you are in your life right now. Okay. Often they're there to say, you know what? Listen, friend, it is hard right now. It is challenging right now. Here's where I am. And then you guys end up talking about each other's stuff, right? You guys end up going back and forth talking to each other about where you are. So the difference between that or even going to see your therapist and coaching is everything is present tense and moving forward. How are we going to move forward? And the entire hour, the entire coaching session is centered on you. It's all about you. And there are very few areas in our lives where we get to have a moment that is only about us. It's just about me. problem solving, troubleshooting, strategic planning, and finding a better way and doing it without being overwhelmed. And it's all centered on you. I think everybody deserves that. I think everybody deserves that. And that is what working with me, partnering with me, and coaching is all about. Okay. It's about you getting to your goals in half the time without feeling exhausted and overwhelmed, like you're running everywhere, doing all the things. And you'll also get there faster because you're not going to give up too early. You're not going to give up too soon. You're going to become the woman who is dedicated and focused and resilient and not beat down and not doing all the things, who learns how to delegate and show up for herself, who learns how to keep promises to herself about the woman she's going to become, the woman who is present for her family. I'm having so many big dreamers who are women with families who feel like I'm not present though. I'm building this amazing, I'm expanding everything I'm doing for, oh, my husband's home. I got to go, y'all, for their families, but they're losing their presence. Okay. So if that's you, my man is home, so I got to go be present. If that's you, I want you guys to hop in my DMs after this is over. I will send you a link, or we will coordinate a time to talk on Zoom. I want you to bring all your concerns, all your goals, all your ideas, all your overwhelm. Bring it, and we're gonna lay it out in front of. I know Jan, girl, he home, girl. We're gonna lay it out in front of us on the table, on the virtual table, and we're gonna come up with a plan of action that works for you. Okay. So that's it, everybody, for tonight. My hubby is home from out of town, so I got to go. Okay. I love you all dearly. I look forward to talking with you all in Messenger about helping you to organize your busy world. Good night.